STEAM scholars, we are going to get the chance to replicate one of Ernest Clotney's projects. For this project, you will need a tuning fork, a small plastic bowl. You will need to keep this for next week. You'll also need water, salt, plastic wrap, your design thinking process notebook, a rubber band if necessary, and paper towels, which are not included. So, step 1, you are going to take out your small plastic bowl. I have 2 here, but you guys will have 1. We're going to do 2 different projects, so for this first one, you'll need to take off the lid if it's on. Make sure you're careful with this, as you may use this bowl and lid next week. Next, you're going to add water to this bowl. And you're gonna add it to about this rigid line here. If you need to add more, you may. So now you are going to take your tuning fork and strike it on the table. Immediately after striking the table, you will want to place your tuning fork in the water. Please note, do not submerge or put your whole tuning fork down into the water, but just place the tip of one end of the tuning fork in the water. You will observe what happens and write it down in your design thinking process notebook. Now, you are going to test an experiment similar to Clotney's sound experiment. This is not the exact experiment, in which you can learn more about it in your book, Clang. In this experiment, Clotney sprinkled sand over a brass plate. Using a violin bow on the side of the brass plate, the sound waves travel through the plate, causing the vibrations to push the sand around, creating patterns. So you're going to do something similar. Before we begin, go ahead and wipe off your tuning fork, your bowl, pour out the water, and dry your bowl. I have a second bowl, so I'm going to use that. Now, before we begin this experiment, take out your design thinking process notebook and ask yourselves these questions in the design thinking process. A, ask, how can I create an experiment that shows sound waves vibrating? B, brainstorm, how can I use my tuning fork, bowl, plastic wrap, and salt to create an experiment like Clotney's? C, collect, what information have I learned that will help me create? D, develop, what is the first step I need to make to create? E, evaluate, what works, what doesn't work, and what can I do to make my design better? F, fine tune, is my design or experiment where I want it to be? Are there any changes I need to make? Once you finish asking yourselves the design thinking process questions and writing your ideas down in your notebook, take out the bowl you just used. Make sure it's dry and free from water. Once your bowl is dry, take some plastic wrap, you can use scissors if you need to. And place it over your bowl, making sure that the plastic wrap is wrapped tightly over your bowl. If you need it more securely, wrap a rubber band around your bowl. Be careful because you really have to stretch. All right, next, open your packet of salt. Do not eat. Pour half of the pack of salt in the middle of your plastic wrap. Taking your tuning fork, strike the table. Immediately place the tuning fork over the bowl and observe what happens. Using your design thinking process notebook, write down your observations. Continue testing your experiment by moving your tuning fork around the bowl, on the side of the bowl, maybe even touching just the side of the tuning fork to test and see if you can create different patterns like clogging. Until next time, my STEAM scholars, I hope you enjoyed being a scientist today. Be great and keep exploring. Bye-bye.